Very good morning to all. In the last lecture, we solved numerical on mathematical modeling of a given physical system. So in that, we applied the concept of force voltage analogy in order to obtain the analogous representation of a given mechanical system. So in this lecture, let us try to solve the same numerical by applying the concept of force current analogy, and let us try to find out how the analogous system of that particular mechanical system is going to what we can say behave in a circuital diagram in case of electrical domain. So from the knowledge of our previous lecture, we know that the equation which we got from step number 5, which is nothing but when we apply the concept of Laplace transform to the mathematical modeling of the given what we can say mechanical system, and we got some equations like this. So here I am writing with reference to my previous lecture. So we got the equation like f of s is nothing but capital M into s square into x of s plus capital B into s into x of s plus k times x of s. And in the last lecture we denote this equation by number 2. So this is our equation which we got from step number 5. Now our objective is to find out the mathematical modeling of given mechanical system by using the various component, or you can see equivalent component available in electrical domain. So definitely after step number 5, that means in step number 6 we need to define whether we are trying to obtain the analogous system of given mechanical system by applying the concept of force voltage analogy, or you can say force current analogy. So here let us try to obtain the analogous electrical system of given mechanical system by applying the concept of force current analogy. And from the knowledge of our previous lecture, we know that when we apply force current analogy, mass is replaced by your capacitor, which is nothing but capital C, then force is replaced by current, damping coefficient is replaced by inverse of resistor, then spring constant K is replaced by inverse of inductor, linear displacement x is replaced by flux, and linear velocity V is replaced by capital symbol V, which is nothing but voltage. So we need to apply this conversion factor in order to indicate various fundamental operating components of mechanical domain into their analogous components available in electrical domain. So if you apply the concept of force current analogy to equation number 2, we can write equation number 2 as it is, but in converted form. Like instead of writing force, we need to replace force by current. So here it is I of s, which is going to be equal to this M is nothing but mass, which has to be replaced by capacitor. So it is going to be C into s square. This x, where x is nothing but linear displacement, now it has to be replaced by flux. So it is going to be phi of s plus capital B, where capital B indicate damping coefficient, and it has to be replaced by 1 by R, that is nothing but inverse of resistor if you apply the concept of force current analogy. So it is 1 upon R into S into phi of S, then plus K is nothing but spring constant, which is replaced by inverse of inductor into phi of S, which is very, very important. Let this equation number 3. Now if you see equation number 3 indicate the mathematical modeling of given mechanical system in frequency domain, but corresponding to their analogous quantity available in electrical domain. So if you see equation number 3, here you will see that all the subcomponents available in equation number 3 are indicating the fundamental operating component of electrical domain. Here we have current, then capacitor, flux, resistor, and then inductor. Now normally we want to represent the mathematical equations in terms of voltages, or you can say in terms of current. We don't want flux or we don't want charge. So what we need to do, as the technique we applied in case of force voltage, what we can say analogy, where we replace charge by current, here we need to replace this flux by corresponding, you can say, voltage. So we know that from the knowledge of our basic electrical engineering domain, we can write V is nothing but d phi by dt, where V is nothing but instantaneous value of, you can say, circuit voltage. Now if you apply Laplace transform to this equation, we can write capital V of S, which is nothing but S into phi of S. Now from this equation, if you rewrite this equation in terms of phi of S, we can write here as phi of S is nothing but V of S whole divided by S. Let this equation number 4. So equation number 3 indicate the mathematical modeling of the system in electrical domain, and by combining equation number 3 and equation number 4, what we are going to do, we are going to replace this phi of S by a combination of V of S by S. So from equation 3 and 4, we can write here as I of S is nothing but C into S square. Now instead of writing phi of S, I am writing here V of S divided by S, then plus 1 by R as it is into S multiplied by phi of S. Now instead of phi of S, we are writing V of S divided by S plus 1 by L into phi of S. So instead of writing phi of S, we will write here V of S divided by S. Now if you further solve this equation, here S square cancel, this S will get cancelled. We can write here as I of S is nothing but C into S into V of S plus V of S divided by R plus V of S whole divided by S into L. Let this indicate equation number 5. Now from equation number 5, it is very clear that if you see the left hand side of this equation, this indicates the amount of current supplied as an excitation to that particular circuit, whereas this particular symbol indicates the value of current flowing through capacitive reactance. In the same way, this particular component indicates the value of current flowing through the resistor, and this particular component indicates the value of current flowing through your inductive reactance. कहने का मतलब ऐसा है कि अगर आपने इक्वेशन नंबर 5 को गौर से देखा, so it is nothing but the indirect application of your Kirchhoff's current law. So according to Kirchhoff's current law, incoming current is nothing but the summation of distribution of current through each and every component available in that particular circuit at that particular node. So here incoming current is nothing but the distribution of current at various components available in that particular circuit. So from the knowledge of our previous lecture, we know that whatever the mechanical system which we are having with us, that mechanical system consists of mass, then you can say damping coefficient, and then spring constant. And if you draw the analogous what we can say system in electrical domain, we are having 3 components in it: resistor, inductor and capacitor. In the same way, if you apply force current analogy, again we are having the same what we can say output. That means if you draw the circuit diagram from this particular equation, in that particular circuit diagram we are having 3 components in it. First one is your capacitor, second one is nothing but resistor, and third one is nothing but inductor. Second thing is that if you see the value of V of S across each element, they are nothing but same. That means the same V of S is available across your capacitive reactance, the same V of S is available across your resistor, and same V of S is available across inductive, you can say, reactance. इसका मतलब है कि तीनों के तीनों जो आपके कंपोनेंट्स है, जब आप इसका एनालॉगस इलेक्ट्रिकल सर्किट डायग्राम ड्रॉ करेंगे, तीनों के तीनों कंपोनेंट्स आपके पैरेलल कॉम्बिनेशन में कनेक्टेड रहेंगे. दैट इज द रीजन आई इन्फॉर्म यू दैट if you apply force current analogy, it is nothing but indirect application of your Kirchhoff's current law, which works on the principle of law of conservation of charge. So equation number 5 indicate the mathematical modeling of our given mechanical system in analogous electrical what we can say domain, where each component represent the fundamental analogous what we can say operating component of a given mechanical system. So here this particular factor indicate capacitive reactance, or you can say this particular factor indicate the inductive reactance, and this particular factor indicate the resistance of the given what we can say circuit. Now, if you apply step number 7, so in step number 7, we need to draw the analogous, what we can say, circuit diagram for this particular equation. So from this equation, it is very clear that we are having one input excitation which is in the form of the current source like this. So here I am connecting a current source like this, and the value of this current source is nothing but I of S. Now we are having three components: capacitor, resistor, and you can say inductor. All are connected in parallel combination. Why? Because the value of voltage across each of them is nothing but same. So here first I am indicating capacitor, and the value of this capacitive reactance is nothing but 1 upon Cs. Because if you solve this equation further, we can write this particular component as V of S whole divided by 1 upon Cs. So this 1 upon Cs indicate the capacitive, what we can say, reactance offered by that particular capacitor. So if you apply that logic over here, the value of capacitive reactance is 1 upon Cs. Then here we need to indicate a resistor of value capital R, and here we need to indicate the inductive reactance of value S into L, and these components we need to connect in parallel configuration. And across each, what we can say, component, here we are having the voltage as V of S. So this V of S is applicable across capacitive reactance, same V of S is applicable across your resistor, and same V of S is applicable across your inductive, you can say, reactance. So in this way we can apply force current analogy in order to obtain the analogous electrical system of given mechanical system. In previous lecture we solved the same numerical by applying the what we can say logic of force voltage analogy, but here we solve the same numerical by applying the concept of force current analogy. So force current analogy works on the principle of law of conservation of charge, because ultimately whatever the mathematical equations which we are having with us, that is indirect application of your Kirchhoff's current law. Now let us try to solve another numerical from mathematical modeling domain in order to have better understanding of this topic. So let us try to solve another numerical. Now let us consider that we are having numerical number 2. Let me draw some bifurcation so that we can solve the numerical step by step. So the second numerical in which we need to draw or we need to obtain the mathematical modeling of a given mechanical system is something like this, in which the mechanical system is given to us. So here we are having a damping coefficient indicated by symbol B1. Then here we are having spring constant indicated by symbol K1, and somewhere over here we are having mass component indicated by symbol M1. Then here we are having again another spring constant indicated by symbol K2, followed by another mass component indicated by symbol M2. And let us consider that somewhere over here we are having first displacement indicated by symbol X1, and the input excitation to this system is indicated by symbol F of t, and another displacement because of the input force applied as an excitation to this mechanical system is X2, which is applied to the second mechanical component, or you can say mass component of a given mechanical system. So this is our second numerical on the topic mathematical modeling of a given mechanical system. So ये mechanical system आपको दिया हुआ है, and our objective is to find you can say mathematical modeling of given mechanical system, number one, and second one is we need to draw the corresponding analogous electrical circuit of this particular mechanical system by applying the topology, which is nothing but force voltage analogy. The same you can apply and find out by applying the concept of force current analogy, but for time being we consider that we will apply force voltage analogy. So let us apply those steps one by one. So step number one is we need to identify the type of mechanical system. So from the diagram it is very clear that here we are having linear displacements and you can say force. That's why the nature of given input mechanical system is translatory. So here I am writing step number one, the given mechanical system is translatory motion type. Translatory motion type. This is our step number one. We need to identify the type of given mechanical system. Then step number two, we need to count the number of displacements available in given mechanical system. So from this diagram it is very clear that we are having two displacements available in our mechanical system. This is first displacement and this one is your second displacement. So number of displacements available in given mechanical systems are 2, x1 and x2. Then step number 3, we need to draw node diagram of given mechanical system, and to draw node diagram you should know how many number of nodes are there in the node diagram. So to calculate the number of nodes available in node diagram, we need to apply a simple mathematical formula, that is total number of nodes available in node diagram are nothing but the addition of number of displacements available in given mechanical system plus 1. So here number of displacements are 2, and to this factor we need to add one more quantity which is nothing but 1. So this one indicate the reference node. So 2 plus 1, it is nothing but 3. That means if we draw the node diagram for this particular system, in that node diagram we need to draw or we need to indicate 3 nodes, out of which 2 nodes indicate the displacement nodes and 1 indicate the reference node, which is very very important. कहने का मतलब ऐसा है कि जब भी आप ये पर्टिकुलर मैकेनिकल सिस्टम का नोड डायग्राम ड्रॉ करोगे तो उसमें आपको 3 नोड इंडिकेट करना पड़ेगा, जिसमें से एक नोड रहेगा आपका रेफरेंस नोड जो कि हम लोग एकदम बॉटम मोस्ट में इंडिकेट करेंगे, और 2 उसमें डिस्प्लेसमेंट नोड रहेंगे इंडिकेटेड बाय x1 of t and x2 of t, which we need to indicate on the upper section of this particular what we can say plane. So let us try to draw the node diagram for this circuit. So here I am drawing the node diagram. So for node diagram, first of all we need to indicate the nodes. So let us consider that somewhere over here we have the reference node indicated by symbol small n, and somewhere over here we are having first displacement node indicated by symbol x1, and somewhere over here we are having second displacement node indicated by symbol x2. So x1 and x2 indicate the displacement node and this indicate the reference node. Now what we need to do, we need to indicate each and every mechanical fundamental components in between the respective displacement node and the reference node. So let us start with respect to our first displacement node. So at first displacement node we are having the connection of your damping coefficient with respect to the reference node, then connection of spring constant K1 with respect to the reference node, then connection of this mass component M1 with respect to the reference node, and if you see this diagram very carefully, we are having this spring constant K2 which is connected in between the first displacement node and the second displacement node. Apart from this, we also need to connect the input excitation force F of t in between your first displacement node and the reference node. So let us try to apply this logic over here and try to draw the node diagram of given mechanical system step by step. So first of all, we need to indicate a force input over here F of t, which is connected in between the first displacement node and the reference node. So this is over. Then we need to connect damping coefficient in between first displacement node and the reference node. So Let us consider that somewhere over here we are having B1, which indicate damping coefficient between first displacement node and the reference node. Then we need to indicate spring constant K1 again in between the first displacement node and the reference node. Then we are having mass component M1 in between displacement node and the reference node. So somewhere over here I am indicating that. So this indicate M1, capital M1 in between the displacement node and the reference node. And if you see this diagram, here we are having spring constant K2, which is connected in between first displacement node and the second displacement node. So somewhere over here we need to indicate spring constant K2 in between the first displacement node and the second displacement node. And then if you see on second displacement node, we are having a mass component M2, which is connected in between second displacement node and the reference node. So that we need to indicate over here like this. So this indicate M2, which is nothing but the mass component which is connected in between the second displacement node and the corresponding reference node. So this is nothing but the node diagram of our given mechanical system. Let us check कि कोई component छूटा तो नहीं है. So first we are having input excitation f of t, then spring constant K1, damping coefficient B1 over here, then mass component M1, then x2, which is nothing but in between first displacement and second displacement node, which is nothing but K2, and then M2, which is nothing but mass coefficient between second displacement node and the reference node. So this indicates the node diagram for our given mechanical system. Now step number 4. In step number 4, we need to write the equation of force, or you can say torque, at equilibrium condition corresponding to each displacement node. Now, from the nature of input mechanical system, we know that the type of mechanical system is nothing but translatory. That is the reason we need to write here equation of force at equilibrium condition, but at each input node, or you can say at each displacement node. In this particular case, we are having two displacement nodes. That is the reason we need to write two equations of force at equilibrium condition. So let us try to write those equations step by step. So I am writing here